Hello and welcome to this little video for YouTube for Jared Delento channel. Uh, Here we are in the UK. It's early May 2020. Pandemics meant that we've we've been in lockdown for about 45-50 days now, and this is how I've been dealing with it. So hadn't been writing very much. And I thought, well, I'm an asthmatic. Coronavirus would potentially be deadly for me, certainly be very difficult. And I thought, well, what's a smart thing I can do to keep healthy, keep safe, improve my kind of physical fitness, improve my respiratory performance? And the answer to me was screaming out that it was ride indoors. Get in the garage, get on my turbo, get pedaling, do something every day. Good for mental health, good for physical fitness. And so, frankly, that's what I've been doing. 49 out of the last 50 days, I've spent, around about an hour on Zwift. And a lot of it's been at this kind of zone 2, low intensity. I just better pick up my pace a little bit. And a lot of it's been these pack rides, the Zwift pack. You can find them on Facebook. I've got sort of 10,000 followers. You can find their rides on the Zwift companion app. They run them every day. They're mainly about 2 watts per kilo. And I have to say, it's been a real joy just getting on the bike like this in my garage. It's tidier than Geraint Thomas's, just like to say. And I've found it great for my mental health, and I've found that I feel fitter. My legs certainly feel fitter. It's been terrific. So I'm properly in the habit now after about 50 days. I look forward to getting on the bike, getting on Zwift. I feel like my fitness has improved to the point where these are pretty easy. I don't get my heart rate up particularly high. Just making sure I'm not too far in front of the leader. I've got a fan in the way blocking the bottom of my screen, a big fan. No obvious jokes about big fans. So I've been doing 6 to 7 hours a week. I've been doing, roughly 180, 200 Ks a week, all without leaving my house. Slowly building fitness, trying to do it in a way that I'm not building a lot of intensity, but I don't need to. I'm not training for anything. I find these social rides just that. It's nice to see lots of other people. I mean, that's over close to 650 people in this ride right now. Pace is good. In fact, I'm still a bit far in front of the leader. If you look in the top right, there with the map from above, that little yellow symbol there in the back. So I'm just going to back off. I mean, one of the other great things about doing this every day is I've finished the Everest challenge and got myself this Zwift concept bike, or the Tron bike as it's known, which is very fast. And that's that helps make some of this stuff a bit easier as well. Right, I'm going to slow right down. Wait till the leader gets much closer to me. I like to be about 30 meters, 20 to 30 meters in front of the leader. You know, these group rides, they're not about racing off. So I can slow myself down, and by the way, this is the first time I've tried one of these videos, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to record it, not live stream it. It's kind of one take. It's recording kind of live, if you know what I mean. I don't have a script. I'm just got on the bike to start pedaling very well. You can see I'm hardly pedaling at the moment, 30 watts. I'll roll down a hill, and still a stream of riders behind me before the leader comes into view. I have to big up these pack rides. They're absolutely fantastic. They're really nice, big groups, good leaders. It's all very friendly. You can go on this Discord app as well if you want to listen to people chatting. To be honest, I've given on that. I've been using this kind of gentle exercise to catch up on loads of podcasts. So I'm in my garage. I've got a Bluetooth speaker. Switch my phone on. Listen to podcasts about cycling, about politics, current affairs. You know, that sort of thing. So that's been great too. I'd normally be working a bit harder than this. When you join a group ride like this late, it gives you a pedal assist and it sticks you into the bunch, kind of, I think, part way into the ride. So I've ended up quite a lot in front of the leader. Here I can see there in the bottom of my screen now, that little yellow symbol. And I can see in my map on the top right that he's now coming back towards me. Once he gets under 50 meters, there'll be a number of meters under his name. There we go. Under 50 meters now, he's coming back, and I'll actually be able to start doing a bit of pedaling. Down under 30. Okay, right, I can start building up my speed again. He'll probably come zipping past me in a minute, but that's fine. Back up to 2 watts per kilo, or thereabouts, and I'll bump back up in front of him a little bit. On my Topia, this little climb and turn, that's one place you do get a bit of a jump in front of the group ride leader, as it's the same onto when you come out of the tunnel after Ocean Boulevard and you go across the gravel and the wooden bridges. You get a bit of a bump again there. Normally, I'm not talking so much, but it's another thing I have done for Zwifting during the lockdown, is occasionally on rides like this, or set up group rides with friends, then I go on use something like WhatsApp to just chat away while we're riding, and that's been really pleasant as well. My cycling club has switched all of their weekly club rides onto Zwift during the pandemic, during the lockdown, and that's been brilliant as well. Although, frankly, I'll be honest, 8:30 on a Sunday morning to get up to ride on Zwift, that's never going to happen to me. My sleeping's too important to me, and always have been. So these pack rides and some of the other groups I watch, their late afternoon, mid to late afternoons on the weekend, or early evening on the weekdays, and that's just perfect for me. That works really well. Got a little bit in front of the leader again, so just rolling along. I'm only doing 45, 46 minutes today. That'll take me 7 hours for the week. That's plenty. That's all I need to do. Not working very hard, as you can see by the watts and by the heart rate. I've also invested in a sort of a, what they call it, like a fitness tracker. During this, I bought a cheap Garmin fitness tracker to measure my oxygen levels. Some of the fitness trackers have pulse oximeters, and that's a way of, if you read some of the news stories, that's one of the Covid-19 things, is that people have been, by the time they get to hospital, a lot of them have had pneumonia, and one of the things to watch for that is falling oxygen levels. So I'm a bit paranoid about my asthma and how I might react. I got one of those and had that for about 10 days. It's been quite interesting, been quite enjoying that. Now I'm settling into the sort of pace. This is a slower ride today. I think it's an average 1.5 watts, so it's a great way for me just to have an easy pedal to hit my goal of hours for the week. And I've been meaning to try to see if I could set up my tech to record this. I'm toying with the idea of doing some live streaming for those of us who are not spring chickens anymore. I'm now 50 plus, which is what I'm doing. You know, I've took up cyclocross racing at 50. I've never been a racer. This kind of amble has always been my favourite kind of cycling. Not too fast, not too slow, not too flat out. But you know, I was mentioned my cycling club before. They roped me into doing a couple of Zwift races, which was interesting. So I've done 2. I got disqualified from my first one because I kind of misread it, really. I know that roughly speaking, my FTP is about 3 watts per kilo, but which would put me in category C. But I thought I should start at category D because I was a beginner. So I rode flat out for 40 minutes and rode roughly 3 watts per kilo. The cutoff was 2.5, so I got disqualified. I would have been 4th, but the top 5 were all disqualified, or top 6, so that was fine. A bit frustrating, a bit annoying, because I worked hard to get disqualified. But, you know, that's a learning experience. Coming out of the tunnel onto the gravel. I think this is the Watopia flat route. This one, which is quite good. I've certainly discovered a few more routes. I've ridden up the Alpe Zwift for the first time ever, thanks to some friends suggesting that we do. Not enormously fast, but you know, I did it. Helped me get the Tron bike. In fact, one of the group riding loops that you can only access on a group ride, the Watopia Waistband, I think it's a fantastic circuit. Really enjoy that one. That was interesting about racing too. You know, again, another set of courses you don't access any other way. So I've had a go at the crit circuit. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the circuit for the second race I did. So you know, Zwift racing, you do need a strategy, and mine's not very good today. My first race, as I said, got disqualified for too many watts. That'll never happen again, by the way. But what I did do is treat it like a cyclocross race. So when the flag dropped and the race started, I made sure that I was, 500-600 watts off the line. Then, so after the first kind of 45 seconds, I was about 40th out of 600 people. But there's no way I can hold that pace. So then, over the next 2 minutes, about 300 people passed me. So effectively what I did is I just attacked from the beginning, rode as hard as I could, didn't really get any breaks, and just gradually got tired, gradually got slower, gradually watched my watts drop, gradually saw my ability to kind of do those little attacks to keep with people fall away. I ended up at sort of 2.95 watts per kilo, which for me is about just over 200 watts. So, so I thought, okay, next time I'll go up into Group C and I'll ride more conservatively off the start line. I'll try and aim for about 300 watts so that I can hold that a bit longer, so that I can not kind of disqualify myself for too big a attack. But most of all, because if I was going to ride at Group C up to 3.2 watts per kilo, that's about 225 watts for me. So I thought if I start off 300 to 350 and then get back down and ride at sort of around that 225, maybe it'll all work out. But of course it didn't, and I ended up 2/3 of the way down the field. And oddly, I ended up with almost exactly the same average watts per kilo through that second race. But I wasn't disqualified. I was just miles from the front, which, funnily enough, is pretty much how cyclocross racing goes for me. I'm always well off the front, shall we say. But I've only done a couple so far. They're not a key part of what I'm trying to do at the moment, which is really just get on the bike every day, ideally an hour, so I get 6 to 7 hours a week. Not particularly strenuous, much like this. I mean, this is pretty easy. It's very easy. I can chat away comfortably, stay in front of the leader without really trying. It's all good. So this is, I guess it's classic base training. That's what I'm doing. Base training, around about 200 k's a week. Base training, a bit less if I'm thrown in a race, because that'll be a day of riding hard. But I don't see any huge benefits to do that from an asthma and a COVID point of view, which is my primary reason for being on here every day. But it has been terrific watching the kilometers tick up. Strangely enough, watching my follower numbers tick up. So thank you everybody who's followed me, and thank you everybody who's given me ride-ons. It's that little bit of nicety to it. And I think one of the things I like about Zwift is just how many people are on it. I like the fact that the graphics are a bit cheesy. I run this on a PC, which is it's a 12-year-old PC, so it's way out of date. It's got Windows 10 on it, and it's got a 3-year-old mid-range graphics gaming card, an NVIDIA GeForce, a 1060 6GB for those nerds like me who are interested in that. And I'm running it on an old, what is it now, 11-year-old 40-inch plasma TV, 42-inch, in 1080p, and it's absolutely brilliant. I'm a big fan of TACX Neo that I've owned for 3 years. The original gangster, first for generation. It's been absolutely fantastic. Probably one of the, if not the best, bit of cycling kit I've ever bought. So, you know, for a lot of people, this whole new world of Zwift is a new thing, particularly lockdown world that we're in. You know, my wife, she's now, over the last month, she's ridden 250 k's on Zwift, and that's tripled her kind of total riding ever. My son, who's the mad keen cyclocross racer, has grown like a weed, and he's grown out of his cyclocross bike, his first proper one, which is a Kinesis, and it turns out that it's exactly the right size for my wife. So early on in the lockdown, when I was doing this every day and trying to build a bit of respiratory health to protect me, my wife said, well, do you think I could use our son's old bike? And I said, let's give it a go. I think it'll work well for you, but I'm a bit uncertain and a bit worried about the saddle. So we just going to turn down the background noise on the rumble if I can. But we set the bike up for my wife. I put a shorter stem on it. I dropped the saddle height. But I was right, you know, the saddle was not good and she was very uncomfortable. So I ride Pro saddles, Shimano's bike brand, Pro bike gear. I've been riding them for years. I really like them. They work really well for me. In fact, my son's now taken to them, and so he rides the same model of saddle as me. We both ride Pro Turnix saddles. So I tried a couple of saddles that I've got in my box of bits for my wife, but that wasn't helpful. It didn't help at all. She was still really uncomfortable. So we went online to the Pro Bike website, Pro Bike Kit website, not the shop, the Pro Bike Gear, the brand, and they have a saddle selector. So we ran through that for my wife, and it recommended two saddles for her. Biggest difference really was much wider saddles. She's wider sit bones than we do, my son and I. And there was a gel option as well, so I thought that looks good. So arranged for the Pro Turnix, the right width and gel to arrive. Put that on the Kinesis cross bike for Mrs. GDL, and she within a week she was much happier and settled into, for her, riding 3 times a week. You know, so as with me, she's already noticed the difference. She's feeling a bit fitter after a month, feeling a bit more toned, and you know, that's brilliant. And we have a garage right next to our very small house, and bikes set up or can be within 5 minutes. Big TV to watch. Another Zwift account in the family. Very happy to pay for that though when it's being used. And so my wife and I, my wife's probably doing 3 to 4 hours a week. She's doing 75 k's probably minimum a week. She's thinking about pushing that a little bit higher. And as for my son, he after the cyclocross season, he needed a break, which I think is very normal. Cyclocross is really full on. His last race was the Nationals, which was cool for him. UK Nationals in Shrewsbury. And then he was just really ready for rest and weather. Cancelled the last couple of races, unusually, and then coronavirus happened, and he's now just started a training plan through a cycling club. And what we're doing is we're creating custom workouts on Zwift for those, and that's been good because it's been getting him back into on the bike as well. So we have a second smart trainer, we have a Tech X Flux 2, and that's set up with quick release, and my son's using that for his training, and my wife and I are sharing the Neo, and it's working really well. So I'm at a point where I'm starting to think, well, should I wind back the volume a touch? You know, I've had one day off in 50 days, but you know, this, as you can see, this is not, it's not intense, far from it. This is one of the more gentle rides. I've done a couple of really gentle rides this week, which has been brilliant because they've effectively been my rest days. So today I'm 25 minutes in, so I'm about 20 minutes from packing it in for the day, calling it done for the week, jumping in the shower, and then, you know, we start again on Monday after work, Monday evening, and figure out when in the day it makes sense to do that. I'm not a morning person, so there's no chance I'm getting up early to do this, and if I don't have to get up on the weekends, I'm not getting up. So I didn't get out of bed till midday today because I was awake from sort of around about 9:30, but stayed in bed chatting and then stayed in bed reading and looking at social media and eBay and all the different things that I normally do to see the time fly by. I have been trying to get back into reading a bit more during the lockdown. I'm on my third book, and I've been enjoying that. But, you know, this has been the biggest change to my daily routine. It's been an hour on turbo, and yeah, my legs feel a bit more like I think they should after really a very erratic couple of years. But the one consistent thing over the last couple of years has been a smart trainer. Last year I broke my collarbone. It's not great. Not great at any age, but I don't think it's a particularly smart thing to do when you're over 50. Got lockdown here going on. Apologies for that. And that was right as I was starting to get some fitness. The last couple of years I've spent quite a lot of time training with the Sufferfest app, which I'm a paying customer. I really like it, but for now I've parked it. I'm not using it because I'm not training for anything in particular. I'm just riding for respiratory health, really, basic physical fitness. So I'm not really bothered about, you know, doing the FTP tests and doing lots of high intensity training. I don't see, but basically I don't want to do that because I don't want to take the risk of reducing my kind of immune system resilience. For me, the whole point of this is to gently build resilience, gently build my ability to have my lungs cope, give my lungs a fighting chance if I get the dreaded Covid-19. So, because it could be very problematic. So I've only left the house twice And for the whole lockdown, I'm not riding outside, I'm not going to ride outside. I'm trying to keep away from other people as much as I can, because I am at risk. So, not massively, but I don't want to put myself in danger. I don't want to put anyone else in danger. So, let's just say I can see that other people are taking a different approach, and it's not one I would personally have done or chosen to do, but each to their own. I can see quite a lot of people are taking, that I follow on Strava, taking really quite a different approach. Back in the tunnel again. I might take this opportunity to grab my phone, share a ride on or two with my fellow Zwift packers. I wish there was an easier way to do this, because I find it quite clunky. Start by giving ride-ons to the leader and the sweeps. Because I really appreciate them arranging these rides every day. I appreciate that because they do, people like me and hundreds of others can also enjoy the camaraderie of these group rides. And if you want to really get in with the usual suspects, then you can join Discord and you can see who the people who chat the most are on the rides. That's not me. So for the moment I've left the group chat, but it can be quite interesting. I have, one of the things I have done on the group rides is I have done a bit of sprinting here and there, and quite pleased how I've done on that on a few occasions when I've gone for it. Got up to about 12 watts per kilo, which I'm pretty happy with. Not for very long, obviously, because you know, one of the things that I've learned about me from riding over time is my strengths and weaknesses as a cyclist, and sustained efforts are my big weakness. You know, riding at a certain level of intensity for 20 minutes, oh, that's a disaster for me. I really struggle with that. Whereas I can go quite hard for very short bursts. So, and Sufferfest parlance, their tests say that I'm an attacker. I'm not really, but relatively speaking I am compared to being able to ride in like a time trial. It's a disaster for me. Not least of all because I think they're about as interesting as watching grass grow. But it's not my strength. So in a way, these easy group rides are another good thing for me, because I can slowly build my endurance, and I'm definitely doing that. So here we are, 33 minutes in. Admittedly, it's very easy pedal. Heart rate's around about 100, which is, you know, not too high. My resting heart rate's come down again. It's down to 45, and my maximum heart rate is, well, in cyclocross it's about 180. In Zwift so far it's been about 173, 174. So I'm caught by the leader here. That's fine. Might let him go past so you can see. For those of you who don't know much about the group rides, if I slow down and let this clog go past me, well, if he does, I might slow down so that he can, and then we'll finding this pace very easy to do. Which again is another sign of better fitness, better resilience, better 15 meters. I know I can get back in front of them very easily on this. I'm going to just really soft pedal. Just to let them go past. There we go. There goes the leader. So I'll put a bit more oomph back in and just pop back and forth. There we go. No problems. And one of the things I find about these group rides is that the leader coming up alongside again, is that I find actually they're harder when you're riding right next to the leader. I find that you have to be on and off the gas a lot more to maintain your pace. And certainly if you drop off the bunch in one of these, even these relatively easy rides, you have to work really hard to catch back on, because the draft on Zwift is actually really big. It's one of those weird things that you can't really feel it other than by looking at the pace you're moving along at. And it's quite odd. So just going to change my view so that you can see. There we go. We change to one of those ones that is a bit more Tour de France. So there I am with the blue wheels. Yay me! I'll just push on a bit. So I push up a little bit in front of the leader again, just a bit. There we go. Slipping through the bunch because I'm pushing a bit harder. Still, what's that one? Oh, up over 2. Yeah, 2 on a 1.5 ride. Oh, just connected the camera. Push. Cycle back through some of the other views. Push back out. This is quite an interesting one. It's button number 3. These are the numbers. Push through the numbers on your keyboard if you're using a PC, and you can change your view. This number 3 is quite like you're down a bit more of the level that you would be when you were actually riding for real with people. Side view. Yes, I am as grey haired as that. Behind, following view. All those low down shots they do off motorbikes. Thanks for all the ride-ons. So I will get my phone out, and I'm going to return the favour. I've got a nice little shelf there that I keep my phone on. I'm only about 6 minutes off well, there's something I've seen on quite a few rides. That's another nice thing that you notice when you become a regular on these rides, is you start to recognise the faces, the names, sorry, as you go through. So if anyone knows a better way of giving lots of people ride-ons than clicking on them individually and pressing ride-on, do let me know in the comments. Also let me know in the comments whether I should do some more of this, because I'm on here every day. It's could almost consider it a daily update or a podcast. or something like that, because there's quite a lot of things going on in the world of cycling at the moment. Even without racing, we're seeing new bikes released, like the new Giant TCR out recently. Looks really good, looks really interesting. If you're interested in a race bike, particularly if you don't like drop seat stays. What else is new? The Specialized Diverge new model announced this week. I haven't read too much about that. I'm still, slightly unsure about my views on gravel bikes. So, mostly in the sense of, is it something that I should have in my garage, as it were? So, at the moment, I have 3 bikes. I have Trek city bike, proper Dutch style, sit up and big city bike with Shimano Nexus hub gears, roller brakes, dynamo light, built-in lock, built-in mudguards, built-in rack that'll take at least 25 kilos. And I ride that around town sometimes. I go to meetings on it, go to the shops on it. It's a proper European style city bike. I also have my Neil Pride Elise, which I've had since 2013. That's had a big upgrade this year. Big. It's definitely changed. My son's been saying for the last 2 years, Dad, when I'm big enough for that bike, can I race it? And this year he is. So it's cheaper than me buying a new bike. It's a light carbon aero bike, rides beautifully. He was going to race that until we had Covid-19. He's under 16. On the road, he was going to do some road racing on it, and mucking around to get the gear restrictions sorted out for him. I got to a point where I worked out that actually you can't restrict gears on the Di2 that I had, Ultegra 6870 Di2. You've got to use all 11 gears. The cassette that I bought that would have allowed us to do that didn't fit the wheels we have, which are Hunt wheels. I really like the wheels. Have been terrific. They're all really well right from the start. Wrote about them on my blog. Been fantastic. Prices come down as well, which is even better. So in the end, I decided to take the Di2 group set off. I don't really think a 14-year-old needs Di2. It's bad enough I've given my carbon aero bike. So off came the Di2, and I swapped it to new 105 R7000. A friend of mine, clubmate, helped me build the bike up. In fairness to my friend Rob, he did much more of the building than I did, because I spent quite a bit of time looking for bits that we need. And thank you, Rob, much appreciated. But the new 105, what a fantastic group set! Ended up replacing the whole group set. So new brakes, new shifters, new mix, new crank, the whole shebang. Gosh, it's impressive. Absolutely fantastic. The little group set. We got the black one, it's a matte black bike. Really brilliant. So that's been great. Of course, the other big news of recent times is poor old Mavic going into receivership, and I personally think that brands like Hunt have accelerated their demise because they changed the price point people could pay. Hunt's not the only one. There's brands in the UK like Cero from Cycle Division, also really great wheels for the money. Various other people from custom builders like Just Riding Along, but anyway, all of their hard work has seen price points for wheels drop. Another big change in cycling, which will have really hurt Mavic, is disc brakes, because you could, in those days when we were all riding rim brakes, and especially riding for winter, you wear out rims, wear them out, and that's good business for brands like Mavic, selling you new rims or new wheels every 2 or 3 years. If you wear them out, disc brakes that's all gone. That's one of the great joys to me of disc brake road bikes, is that you can buy yourself a really nice set of wheels and you can ride it all year round. In fact, you can ride it, you probably ride them on or off road as well. I had some Reynolds AR41 DBs, not the not the higher end one, the entry level one, which I raced all of last season in cyclocross. Didn't hold back. I'm not very heavy, but I crash a lot, and those Reynolds were absolutely fantastic. Not the lightest, but they had really lovely ride quality. They took every knock. They were still true as they came when I gave them back. I was super impressed with them. And so you can buy your disc brake wheel set. Maybe you change the bearings every few years. Maybe you change the rotors every few years. Wheels, you're not going to wear them out. So bad news for traditional wheel providers like Mavic, who that's really all they do. I guess if you're Shimano or Fulcrum or Campag, you've got other product lines to provide some business resilience. I always thought it was bold of Mavic to get into clothing, because that's a very tough business, and I think they found it tough. So I hope that they emerge again. I hope they don't just end up with a private equity vulture capital deal where they're bought for cents on the euro, and then the soul gets sucked out of the brand, like often happens when the private equity guys get involved. But we'll see. We'll see. So my 46 minutes is up. I've talked a lot. I don't know whether this is recorded. Hopefully it has. If it has, you'll know, because hopefully some of you will watch it on YouTube. But thank you very much for watching, whether you've watched a little or a lot. Thank you very much for taking the time, and I hope that some of it at least has been interesting. And if you do like it and you would like to see me do some more, do quite a bit of chatting about topics, so you can put some topics where it's different kinds of bikes, different announcements, different brands, different platforms, different turbos. I've written quite a few. Leave me a comment, and if you're super keen, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll take that as a thumbs up to produce some more content. Thanks again for watching. I'm just going to ride down to the start finish line, and I'm going to end this ride. I'm going to say thank you to the pack people, and then I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks all. That's me done for the week. See you tomorrow. There we go. So on that note, I'm going to stop recording. Thanks for watching.